Good morning. We are just leaving Charleville. Sorry I didn't get footage. You didn't miss much. So we picked a really funny time to come through Charleville. There's a football tournament here, or rugby tournament here, with 68 teams playing. So there's a scout hall. So we were very lucky to get the accommodation that we did. That's where the football thing is over there. So there's 68 teams playing. So you can imagine how many people are there. So the servo dude was a little bit overwhelmed, but we got there and it's only about 5 hours till our lunch stop. So there's another pie. There's a pie face as well. If their slushy machine's broken,
It looks a bit bigger than our pie
it just
face.
doesn't actually look open. Anyway, Charleville, we had a frog in our bathroom last night. He was pretty cute, but I wasn't sure if he was a frog or a cane toad, so I didn't touch him or let him go. Flood evacuation site. It's very flat, so it's hard to comprehend that it flooded so drastically, but apparently it did. Anyway, back to the time lapse. So just filming this bit, as it is blowing my mind just how much ground cover and grass there is here. The floodways are so weird. Like, you see footage of it in flood on like YouTube, and it's kind of hard to comprehend. And even driving through it, the amount of water that must be needed to make this area flood. But then the water comes and it's like an inland sea, and it's just weird. But there's no sign of that here. One thing it does make me ask, though, is how far down the wet season extends. We're like 3, 4 or 5 hours below the Tropic of Capricorn. So where does the wet season, what areas have a wet season, and how far down is it when it's normal seasons, like South Australian normal seasons? Something I've never actually considered. So here we are, somewhere out of Charleville, on our way to Cunnamulla. Never did I think that I would say roadworks are exciting, but it's 200 k's and there's not much else to see other than trees and grass and the occasional roadkill and really big birds. We're just discussing why their road verges are like this. We kind of think that perhaps it's to do with drainage, because this is all still floodways. So I guess if they get proper rains here, they need the road verges like that to get the water off the road quickly. That's our assumption. If you know, maybe drop us a line in the comments. Landscape has certainly changed now, and we're starting to see more emus. I'm going to try and capture one. Well, not like physically, but on phone.
That would have been fucking fun to see.
Probably not going to see it, however. I think they're bigger than I am.
I reckon they can run quicker than you
They
do.
can probably run a lot faster than I can, and I didn't bring appropriate footwear.
I think.
So I got bitten by an emu once, and their beaks are really funny. Like at Arambira Wildlife Park, and you feed them, and they feel like rubber. They're really weird. Anyway, now that I've picked up my camera,
They all ran away.
they all run away. Maybe they heard I was coming to capture them.
Baby ones. Emus.
I seriously never will understand what makes some people tick. Anyway. Alright. We are arriving in Cunnamulla Adventure Way. We're going left, so we're actually, again, not going to even see the town.
Oh, no, because I'm going to go out.
Oh, no, because we're going to find a
See
coffee.
if we can find a servo. I want a coffee and a pee. And fill the washer bottle up because they're emptied. So I reckon we'll go that way, yeah?
Yeah, go right. It's going to yell at you.
I don't mind, it can yell at me.
But we are going back that way when we leave. Okay, we'll get that on the way back. No push bikes.
Alright.
There's a bakery.
There's lots of Main Street in this.
Yeah. So what do we need? Water. So the servo is probably going to be a better option than the bakery.
Yeah.
There's a pub
It's a nice little
with a
pub.
hole in the roof.
It's a nice little pub.
It does look like a nice little pub with a big radio tower in the middle of town.
Wow.
A cafe.
I see why it's unsuitable for large vehicles.
Yeah. For a town where you would assume there's no shortage of space, the roads are a bit tight.
We can stop for the kids there.
Cute little playground. Hooray for not having the children with us. Alright, I reckon that servo is going to be
I
lot.
reckon that's it.
Yeah.
Another.
So you know those days that just, once it starts shit, just keeps getting shitter? Alright, well you may have noticed sound quality improved because we had this little microphone thing. Yeah, well, we stopped at Cunnamulla to get coffee, have a wee, and Cunnamulla was a very uninspiring town. We filled up our washer bottle only to find that it leaks. Brendan dropped a coffee all over the floor of the servo, and my phone fell off, which broke the little lightning connector thing, so we no longer have microphone. But that's alright, only 866 k's until Broken Hill, so onwards and upwards. Just thought I'd pull out this video now. This is what I was expecting it to look like. The lushness has gone. It's now just dry. There's still a little bit of ground cover, but it doesn't look overly edible. So this is the landscape now. Brendan's just had some pangs of wisdom.
I haven't. I feel that when it was green and lush, we were making much faster headway. It didn't seem to be boring and dragging on as long as it is now. It just feels like we're not getting anywhere. Like we're just.
Do you think maybe that's in part to this is more normal what we're used to at home?
Yeah.
I mean, right now at home to have this sort of ground cover, you'd consider yourself very, very lucky. But this is more normal, therefore it's more boring. When it was green and lush, it was almost enjoyable.
Because it was, the size of the roads were closer, so you had more of that tunnel and appreciation of speed. Now it's like you get out and have a jog next to the car, like it, because there's no relevance of how fast you're going.
Could be that.
Could be that.
There's also no emus.
They won't run up very fast. I'm standing.
Yeah, but there's no. I haven't seen an emu this side of whatever that weird little town was we were
I
at.
haven't really seen anything.
Well, there is that. I'm actually occasionally you see a cow or a horse, and we did see some
there's
sheep.
birds. No, there is birds.
There are lots of birds. Lots of vulture-looking birds. A couple of really cool predator birds. But it's
kind of nice to know that if you
die, then something's going to eat you.
Something's going to eat you.
You're not going to go to
Pick you
waste.
to death slowly.
But there is really a lack of animals.
It's like we are doing the 100k speed limit, and it just
It's boring.
feels like doing
Be
60.
very, very happy first time lapse is all I'm saying.
Whereas, yesterday and that it was a bit closer, and you felt like you were chuffing along. Oh, New South Wales border.
Oh,
There
we
you
are at
go.
the border. There you go.
Ooh,
We
we
have
changed
finally left Queensland.
We need to change all our times.
Oh, what time is it now then?
I don't know what time your phone say.
I don't know. I'm filming on my phone. I'll have to pick up your phone. I'm just reveling in the moment of being in a different state. Hey, look, the road's changed. It's worse. Oh, treasures. 50 ahead.
Okay. I'll wait on that. Your red sandbags out. Where?
Bearing gun.
Never heard of it.
Guessing that's because it's also in the middle of nowhere. Oh, you could stay there. You can camp right there. I don't think I'm going to, however. Oh, those sheeps.
Didn't say anything about fruit or anything, did it?
No. No, I think that's only SA. Alright, apparently we're in a town, and while we thought Queensland's road signs were a bit lacking, New South Wales gives you even less notice. We've just gone from 110 to 50 in about 200 metres. And there is a school on the main road, which I just find very strange.
Police station.
I'm pretty sure they would need one. Right next to the school. St. Francis Xavier Church. I wonder if that gets much use. It is possible that I didn't comprehend 3 days of driving would mean 3 solid days of driving. They are long days, they are boring days, and I think the interesting stuff to look at was all in the first half of the first day. this is a really big country, and it's really kind of boring when you get to the middle of it. Sorry, people that love it, but you know, but it's an interesting experience. That's for sure. We are 8 k's out of Burke, so I guess we go left here. Okay, so this is the Darling River. I would expect that would be quite full. Yeah, it's got certainly. I think it does get low in drought. Oh, there's a really cool old bridge.
Well.
Surely that wasn't all of Burke. Apparently that was all of Burke.
Well.
We're stopped here for lunch. This is the Darling River. So this will join into the Murray River further down. And then the Murray goes all the way to Malang, which is about 30 minutes from home.
There we go.
So, I was wrong before. That wasn't Burke, that was North Burke. So we are now approaching actual Burke. We did stop and have a sandwich by the river.
Tasty.
And I left things sitting high and then now we're falling down in the back. But we are going to stop in proper Burke for Tugget. Hey?
Burke has nothing to do with Burke and Wills. Burke Township was named after a English guy. I can't remember what he did, but
There's a Common Co booking office. It was a bit irrelevant.
But Burke became a settlement due to William Randall getting a paddle steamer up here.
He
So
was a Galway guy.
Yeah, originally when they Charles Sturt first surveyed the area, he found a lot of resistance from the local Imber people or whatever, however you say it. I'll put the name up in text. And he ended up building a fort called Fort Burke. And then the surveyor Mitchell come up here, but it was in drought and they wrote it off as uninhabitable, and then someone else come up here and went, oh no, we can do something with it, and eventually built a township here due to the paddle steamers being able to come up. Paddle steamers were wiped out by the railway link was put in from Sydney, and that closed the paddle steamers down.
They're not here. Oh, they're everywhere.
Welcome to Cobar.
Traffic counting. Base metals.
Base metal and gold mining.
4,000 people, or just under 4,000 people.
There you go.
And there's a really cool big church thing just over here. It's like the first thing you see when you come over the hill. So we're in Cobar while Brendan's using the reception to find accommodation in Broken Hill for us tonight. Just did a bit of sightseeing. We've got fuel, got beer, drove around till I found the front of this beautiful big church. There appears to be lots of churches in Cobar actually. But yes, we are sort of cutting it short on time, otherwise we're not going to get to accommodation till 9 tonight. And
So we were just discussing that we need to get more footage. Oh, there's not going to be a video for today because there really hasn't been anything to see or do.
unless you like goats.
Yep, there's been a lot of goats.
So if you're planning on doing this drive, Emu just about got collected by a truck.
He looked like he was moving pretty quick. It did look a bit like the Coyote Roadrunner thing.
So you know what I was saying earlier about one of those days? Well, the air conditioning in our car's just packed up, and I think it's probably this time. It's currently 37 outside. It's hovering between 37 and 38. And the SIM card that was recording, the SD card that was recording time lapse is full. So Brendan is currently trying to find some room on that. Luckily for the last 2 days, we've got all of the time lapses off and put onto the computer so we can safely delete them knowing that we've got them backed up. Fun times. The good news is there's only 350k until our nighttime stop, even though it's currently 4:30, which means we won't be there until about 8 p.m. And I do want to have a quick look around Willcania, so probably 8:30. And the accommodation we booked stops allowing check-ins after 6:30, so hopefully we can ring them at Willcania when we get phone reception back and sort that out.
Just in case you've forgotten how boring it is, 2 hours on. A few less goats.
Oh no, they're still around.
Yeah, but it's less than it
There's
was.
less. I kind of feel like we should be able to see something from the top of this hill, but if you look over there, there's still nothing. And that's actually...
No, there's a view out. There's a view out. That's like you can't see anything other than Shay's nose. So I believe we are transversing the McCulloch Ranges. Not sure how high they are, not very. It's a bit of a hilly thing. Goes on for a while. Truly not very exciting, however.
Really not very exciting.
hit them, and they'd go super. Quite a big bird. Welcome to sunny Willcania. There's a cool bridge that lifts up, but they made another one that doesn't, so, you know.
Look how low the river is.
Wow. The Darling. Hello, very Darling, if you like. Definitely no phone signal here. Which kind of awkward because I was planning on phoning the hotel that we booked that we're not going to make there on time.
Let's call into the servo and ask if they have.
Well, maybe slide down the main street. Yeah.
Where's the main street? The one that we just passed through?
I'm not sure actually. 4th Street.
There's a pretty cool church.
Certainly is. This is not the main street.
No, it's just doing a loop.
Oh.
There's people at the church. Pretty shitty, like Telstra. No doubt have reception. Someone's got to have service here.
Oh, you would think so. School looks alright. They've got a nice covered in playground. Look at that house. That looks flash.
I didn't see a paddle steamer either.
No.
Sorry, Patrick, no paddle steamer for you. Look at that place.
That's a river meeting gallery.
There's a platform.
Where?
Right in front of the police station, which is a really weird spot to have a phone.
Oh no, it's not just a good spot to have a phone.
Why, so you can call for police assistance?
Well, no, much less chance of vandalism. There's some properly old properties around here. That's quite an attractive little town. Cairns.
So, this is Willcania. This phone box saved our bacon because we have learnt the hard way not to have Optus out here. You want Telstra. Well, we don't know that Telstra works out here, but surely something has to because it's not a small town.
The flies are back.
Flyers are back. We had a lovely break from flyers in Queensland, but apparently New South Wales has them. But there's actually really lovely buildings here. We're not hanging around because we're not going to be in Broken Hill until like 8, so we are going to keep moving. That's 1880. Are we going to stop for a pee?
Yeah.
Up there, there's toilets. There's an old pub. Semi-naked people. It's all happening in Willcania. I saw the policeman on foot heading the other way.
Out of
The what? Wow.
Restoration Australia, eat your heart out. That's the one we want.
In Willcania?
Opposite the river.
I'm not sure that we
I
do.
reckon we want that. Rebuild it, turn it into a bed and breakfast, and make it.
You want to like... We did have a moment of panic. So we've just done a driver swap. And Brendan's taller than I am, so he went to move the seat back. And so we opened the doors to get in. Anyway, got the tyre moved, got back in the car, and in typical Land Rover fashion, there was a red triangle on the dash. And we were like, oh no, here it comes. But it was just because we'd left the tailgate open, thankfully. Anyway, we are having a toilet stop. So yes, let's just say that toilet stop was probably my thigh workout for the day. If you can avoid a toilet stop at Willcania, I would recommend not using the toilets there. However, there is the river, the Darling River, which is the same river that flows through Burke, where we stopped for lunch. The level looks really low. And from what I know about it, there are times when it doesn't flow through, which, given it's the biggest river system in the world, which is the one, no, sorry, not in the world, in Australia, because the Darling flows into the Murray. It's a little bit scary that it's not flowing, but it is summer in Australia, and in our part of the world it's the driest summer in 33 years. So some of the rain that Queensland have just had will make it into the Murray-Darling system, but not all of it. A lot of it will have just gone east. Anyway, we are going to hop back in our car and carry on. Alright, we've decided to have another bit more of a loop around Willcania. So we can check in at any time tonight. We're likely to miss the pubs. They all stop serving at 8. But we are, the hotel we're in is next door to a heap of takeaways. And I know KFC serves later than that. I don't particularly want KFC, but I will if I have to. It's very pretty. But this is Willcania. Oh, Jesus is here, and he is for everyone. Look at that building. I guess Willcania would have to... Look at that pub. There was a pub. I guess Willcania would have to have been a paddle steamer town.
Yeah.
Which might be why there is a paddle steamer named after it. Because there is a paddle steamer, Willcania. When Patrick heard we were coming to Willcania, he's like, show me a picture of the paddle steamer, but we haven't found one yet. But with all those paddle steamers, they chop and change where they live. Oh, look at this one.
Wow. There's a restoration.
There's a Restoration Australia project.
Isn't that just? Wow.
Was that an old convent or something?
Wow.
So, it seems that we have brought the rain with us from Queensland to Broken Hill. Okay, it hasn't really come with us, kind of met us here, but I'm going to claim this one. Hopefully it does the same and follows us to Strath. There is a hill. This road between Willcania to Broken Hill is actually a little bit twisty-turny. It's kind of odd. There's still nothing out here, but it's not quite as boring as the other roads.
Machine saying up there.
So we have 52 k's to go to get to Broken Hill. The sun set, oh well, it's not setting yet, but the sun with these dark clouds is actually quite pretty. If you were to take in Central Time Zone, subtract 30 minutes. But aren't we already in Central Time Zone?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, no, because we're going to go, we've gone west. So we went, Queensland didn't have daylight saving. So New South Wales is an hour before Queensland. So we did that time thing. And now we're going west. So we're going into South Australian time zone, which is half an hour.
Oh, so New South Wales has different time zones in its state
No, we're in Queensland.
now. No, we were. Yeah.
And we changed
To New South Wales.
to New South
And
Wales.
we're in New South Wales now.
And Broken Hill runs on South Australian time for some reason or another. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not sure why or what that's all about. I don't know.
He must have been on the radio to let that truck know to pull over. So what?
That's something I would recommend on the trips with the 70 UHF radio.
There you have it. How get a UHF if you're doing a trip like this. So apparently Broken Hill is on SA time, and so we've just, the GPS just updated. So we've gained half an hour, which is kind of cool. We still weren't going to get to our accommodation on time, but we have gained half an hour. It's now only 7:30, which means we might actually get food, other than we have dropped about 35k off our speed because it's 110 zone, and now we're doing 76 because we are stuck behind a really big tractor on a truck, which is somewhat annoying. Yeah, that one's not so doable.
Right. So these guys are going to be the loopiest heavy vehicle movers I've ever seen, with an escort vehicle in between the two heavy vehicle trucks. No one at the front whatsoever. So, congratulations guys, well done.